Joined here by Paul Hennessey, one of the original Irish Tenors, but also co-owner of the well-known Evolution StageSchool, which has schools right across the entire Midlands, and hundreds of students who are being taught singing, dance, etc. You know, fantastic school. I've been at a number of their productions over the years here in the backstage theatre. Top quality and excellent productions. Paul, thanks very much for joining me here today.
You're welcome.
COVID-19 has brought many challenges to many facets of Irish society, but I think one of the first that was affected was arts, dance, etc., where it was just closed down and has been closed for pretty much the last 15 months. How has it affected you and the Evolution StageSchool?
It's affected us in a big way because, we haven't seen the students. We didn't see them in person for until September. We got back in September for a few weeks, 3 weeks, then we were closed again. Found that very difficult. We had to try and do the Zoom. Well, obviously, what was it, this time last year? It was the first time everyone heard of Zoom. We had to try and adapt, get online, hoping that everyone would support us. Now they did. The majority of people, I'd say maybe 70% of our students came online. A lot of them it didn't suit because of connections and internet connections or whatever. A lot of them weren't into it. So for us it was difficult to try and come up with something new, something every week, to have the technology to do it every week, to keep them there, to keep it fresh. To be honest, it's been a struggle in a way, and now we're still not back. We're outdoors now, so we just can't wait to get out there and get them all back inside and have the crack with them and start working towards shows, which we can't do yet either, Like we usually have a show here in Backstage Theatre every October with our Longford school for over a week, and we didn't have it last year. I doubt we're going to have it this year again because numbers probably won't be allowed. We've probably as many backstage as would be in the audience. So those kind of challenges are what's facing us. We're still going, it's still going, and only for the support of all those great families out there, we wouldn't be going. And thank God for Zoom, because without it, we'd be gone.
You mentioned support there and support from the families and students. Would you be happy with the supports that were put in place by government, financially, to make sure that you were able to sustain the school over that period, or would there be more that could be done?
We didn't actually get any support from anywhere. We didn't actually get any funding. Obviously we were I had to go on the COVID payment for a while because we were gone completely. Then we reopened, had to go off that. So we actually had an income coming in from it, which is fine. We didn't look for any government support. We probably should have when we went outdoors, because we had to invest in gazebos and all that kind of stuff, and they cost us money. And to be honest, it didn't work because you need something that's a permanent structure outside, because the ones we got, they're fine, but gust of wind and they're gone like kites through the air. So funding maybe for that would have helped. If, I saw where, pubs are reopened, whatever, outdoors, okay, there's funding there. If you go outdoors, we're going to give you a car park space, whatever. I'm talking about Longford. This will be built for you. You can get this. But with us, it's like, oh, you're outside. That's it. And there's nothing. So we lost a lot of weeks outside in all our schools, especially, Roscommon, Carrick were there as well. What happened was we'd arrive in Carrick and Shannon, maybe you pull up, lovely day like this. 10 minutes later, heaven's open, cancel, too late to go on Zoom, you've lost a day. You can't get that day back, you know what I mean? So you've lost whatever income was in that day, that's gone. You know what I mean? So structures like that are needed outdoors for events, not for a school, but for running any event. I don't think there's anything in in any of the counties for running events, outdoor events, that has a permanent structure. That someone could say, like, want to put on an outdoor concert or whatever. There's nothing really there for outdoor. So outdoor for the arts at the moment is a disaster. And I know that from fellow stage school teachers and all over the country. They're all like, there's a group, we have groups on Facebook, and everyone's coming on saying, guys, what are you doing tomorrow? What's the way is the weather? Oh, we've cancelled, we can't do it. And it was just, it's a nightmare, and it's still going on.
And you would see that as a priority going forward. And I know the Minister for the Arts, Catherine Martin, I think there was funding announced there for local authorities to look at providing an outdoor space. So that would be a priority, that a structure would be put in place in each county that will be there available for all dance schools, etc., to be able to
for everything, for anything. I mean, it's a place that could be used for anything, like events during the summer, concerts, outdoor concerts. It'll be used. If it's there, it'll be used, like, no problem. People like Shane Croston are trying to get things going here in Longford, like outdoor events. You're going to have to build everything from scratch to do outdoor events, like, you know what I mean? If you want to do it, and you pick anywhere in the town you want to do it, it has to start like with a blank canvas and build. So something like that would be great. Yeah. Not just in Longford, everywhere.
Yeah, I think something that's needed in every. And
it's very easily done, you'd see them in other countries, like where if you were on holidays somewhere in Spain, or you'd see somewhere. Oh look, that's for outdoor events, like, and they're purpose built, easily done.
Yeah. And you just meant going forward, and you meant about the week-long shows that you put on, and now the uncertainty, number one, of when you suppose come back, numbers, but even going forward into the season ahead, whether you can put on these shows, and like I think it can be shown even from the theatres here that it can be done, managed properly here with social distance. And I know, hopefully, with the trial events that are being done at the minute with crowds, that we might get some certainty, and that's something that is needed for your industry to be able to plan in advance. Yeah,
and I think the problem with all these events is it's not the actual event itself where it's all controlled. It's the coming and going, I think, from these events, and I think that's what's actually happening with, like, there's a few matches on tonight now, I think rugby matches on or whatever, football, soccer. There's 1,000 people at them, but I think they're more worried about how people are getting there rather than coming into the event and sitting in their bubble or whatever. So I think that's what'll happen. That's what's going to happen with theatres, and I think that it depends what. Like, I know Mona and the staff here, like, their heads are done in trying to get things going here. It's crazy what they have to go through as well. But if we were to come back in with the numbers we have in the school, I don't know how that's going to work with so many kids coming in, so many in the audience. It's a nightmare at the moment, you know what I mean? Especially with a theatre that has just over 200 seats. So if their percentage is reduced, then it doesn't make it, financially viable for anyone doing a show either. Like, so you can't win,
Would it be a case going forward that, like, if that's going to be the case for the coming 12 months, that there's going to be maybe 50% capacity in theatres, that to be able to put on performances, that there needs to be a government fund put in place to make it financially viable to put on them shows?
Yeah, I think so. That would help with any group that's putting on a show, there'll be lots of different acts trying to put on shows here over the next year or whatever. If they can't see that it's financially viable to put it on, there should be help there, to help them do that, And I think that would, and it wouldn't cost much to do that, like, you're not talking about, the concert on, we need 40 grand to put it on. You don't, like, it's just something that would cover some of the costs of maybe sound and lights or something, whatever. So, because they're a big cost in a small venue. Like, if we put on a show in 1,000-seater tomorrow night, the sound and lighting man are still going to cost the same as if you put it on in a 200-seater. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's where, and if this is reduced then to 100 seats, your cost is still the same. You know what I mean?
Costs are still the same.
Yeah, so that's where help might be great there, funding might be great there on events like that.
You mentioned online, and you went online and you got great support. Do you see maybe that in any way going forward? And I must compliment you, and Mona mentioned it earlier on, when we were speaking, the work that was done with especially the people in the nursing homes. I have to say, I thought it was fantastic.
That was great fun.
What was done to provide that entertainment.
It was great fun. It was great. Yeah, that was great. But the online, as you said, the online thing, I think that is the future. I think you're going to see a lot of shows where the show will be in the theatre, but it will also be streamed, because I think all the companies providing all the sound and lights, whatever, they're all now. I know some of them are investing in that equipment to make it better for streaming as well, and they've done a lot, so they're learning all the time. You saw a lot of the shows last year, like Pantos and stuff, were all streamed, and they went really well. So that could be an option as well, that if capacity was reduced in a venue, that it is available online as well. That might be another way of you know, so you'd have it, you know, you can't fill it, so okay, it's available online as well for maybe another reduced price or something like that. So, but again, that's, you know, it has to be done right, you know.
Yeah. And for looking forward to the future for yourself and Evolution Stage School, where do you see yourself going over the next 12 months? I know it's, as I said, certainty is needed. I think last year was your 10th anniversary. And
yeah, the last show we did here was our 10th anniversary, yeah, which was 2019. Like, it's hard to believe we haven't done a show. Well, like, this is, I think, my first time in here, and since before COVID, even, like, crazy. Because you'd be up here doing stuff, doing different shows. Like, we'd be doing fundraisers, we'd be doing culture night, we'd be doing a musical society, loads of different things that we're involved in. So, like, without this theatre here, like, sure, I mean, it's an incredible facility in Longford. One other thing I think Longford needs is somewhere where all groups, like this theatre is fantastic for putting on your show, okay? But I think there's something needed in Longford, like a large venue for rehearsals or whatever. Like, there's loads of groups in the town, like Shane at the School of Rock, there's us, Pilo School of Dance, variety show, musical society, different groups doing plays, bands. Whenever there's something on, you always hear, oh yeah, where's rehearsal on? Oh, it's in the back room of a pub somewhere, or it's in a hotel, or it's, you know what I mean? There's no, like, gymnastics didn't exist in Longford up to last year. They now have a fantastic home in Longford. So I don't see where there's no reason why there shouldn't be like a big venue that can have different separate rooms for rehearsals for lots of young musicians here in Longford, lots of young bands. These guys have nowhere to rehearse, you know, and girls. You know what I mean? So somewhere like that would be hugely beneficial to all the groups in town, you know.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent proposal. As you said, gymnastics wasn't there. Fantastic work by a small committee. We now have a top of the range club, full capacity. Actually, I believe athletics.
And Mel's now are developing a huge athletics with their funding as well. So there's no reason why, like, that's great. That'll be great for Longford as well with sport. But there's no reason why there shouldn't be something then for the arts, you know.
And as you say, and you listed a number of the musical society, the variety show, that is something that we have a rich amount of talent here in our county, and I think it's well known and throughout the Midlands, the talent that we have. So it's
but there's so much talent out there, Micheál, as well, that you're never going to see. You know what I mean? There's boys and girls in bedrooms there playing guitars, and because they've no outlet, they've nowhere to go and express that, you know what I mean, unless they come in and do it on the stage. But they need to get into the environment before that of, like, rehearsal rooms, working with PA systems, small stage where they can get up and rehearse, and, you know, that kind of thing, where they experience all that kind of stuff. There's like, I know Shane Crossan had the School of Rock as well. They struggled as well for a while to get a venue to do all their classes, you know, and they shouldn't, you know what I mean. That should be, it should be there. Like, there's somewhere like that should be. There's so many kids involved in the arts, like in Ireland, you know, and there's so much talent will go missing if they don't have the opportunity to express themselves. Like you see in sport, where top facilities are appearing all the time. Kids then are getting the opportunity, and those kids will be discovered, and they'll go on maybe and be future superstars and Olympians, whatever. But there's musicians and dancers and whatever, and actors will never get the opportunity unless there's something there where they can go and express themselves. But I think something like that would be. And, you know, there's lots of buildings around the town in Longford to do something like that, you know.
That's a good challenge to me. That's a political person and the local authority. But I think it's an excellent idea. I've always felt we've had a rich array of talent, and when you start listing, you know, Evolution Stage School yourself, Pilo, variety show, musical society, like top class productions every time they're put on. So we've a huge.
And it's always a struggle every year to find somewhere to rehearse. Like, if you go to any of those groups and ask them, okay, where have you rehearsed over the last few years? You'll probably get every bar in Longford mentioned, and the back rooms and hotels, and the musical society were in the golf club doing rehearsals. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not. You know what I mean? And if those groups were then coming here to do their shows or whatever, there's no reason why something in that venue can be the same size as the stage here. So when you walk from your rehearsal, you're walking into the stage with the same dimensions, all that kind of stuff. It's very easily done, you know. It's It's up to you now, Micheál, to do it.
No, thanks very much, Paul. Look, I appreciate you speaking with us here today. I want to take this opportunity. Well, first of all, is congratulate yourself, Tracy, and everyone involved in the stage school. I think it's been excellent, you know, and as I say, top quality productions. I've been at a number of them, and as I say, I want to wish you well in the future, and I look forward to seeing yourself and all the kids back on the stage soon. Thanks,
Micheál. Thanks a million.
Thanks very much, Paul.